at this time, representing the Expo board, we're going to have Dennis Grunbein, who I believe you're the CEO and president. Is that right, Dennis? Harry's the president. Okay, and you're the what? You're the CEO. Okay, and I'm going to have to help Dennis. He usually has a hard time, speaking in front of a group. He normally doesn't have much to say, and so could you make it okay, could you stretch it to at least 3 minutes?
I'll try.
Okay.
I'll try. Thanks, Randy. I'm sure Randy's not the only one that has problems deciphering who is what and who does what here at this facility. So I'm going to give you a little history as to where we started and where we are today. Back in 1969 is when this property was bought. At that time it was 52 acres. And about 15 farm families in this county signed promissory notes to do that. They didn't have any money. Each one of them signed a $5,000 note with People's Bank at that time to buy this 52 acres, which was part of the Bamberger Farm. At that time, it was all one group that put on the fair, and that's exactly what they did. And it moved from different locations throughout the county, and farmers that were active on the board at that time decided that they needed to get a permanent facility if the fair was ever going to continue to grow and prosper and have something other than tents and that sort of thing. And so at that point is when this facility and the 52 acres got bought. Now at the time it was called the Lebanon County 4-H Fair, and as was the board, and the 4-H clubs couldn't own any assets. So the formation of Lebanon Valley Expo Corporation started, which was pretty much a duplication of everybody from the fair, but it was a separate board. So it was the Expo Corporation that was set up to own the property and the assets of the corporation. And that's pretty much how it got started back then, and I was reminiscing, right behind me was one of the first buildings that we used to make French fries, had a dirt floor in it, and we had to come in here a week ahead of time and pound the groundhogs and get those out of there so we could serve French fries and that sort of thing. The West Hall is one of the first buildings, as was the hog barn. And from that point, we were fortunate enough to build what you have today. We've got a couple of our Expo board members here, and over half of our board were board members when this facility was bought. And most of the farm families that signed these $5,000 notes, now going back to '69, I'm pretty sure that made for some interesting breakfast conversations when they informed their wife that they just signed a note for $5,000 to buy 52 acres to build a fairground. I wasn't there for all of that, but I'm pretty sure that was pretty exciting. But we've got our board president, Harry Bachman, sitting over here, our vice president, Ken Zellers, Dick Kreider, and I think that's the board that we have here today. But since that point, of course, we have made more use of this facility. We currently host over 100 events here a year and are a driving force for the hospitality industry in this community, and of course tourism. We put several 100,000 people through this facility, and we are the major cause for putting heads in beds. We are a 501c3 corporation. As such, none of the assets of our corporation can get used for the enrichment of any of our members. Which is to say, if we were to decide, because of our current new assessment, that was a joke, you guys didn't pick up on that. I saw you and Bill get pretty nervous there. But in the event that our board would decide to dispense all the assets of our corporation, they have to be turned over to an acceptable 501c3 or some governmental agency. I'm pretty sure our board would go with a 501c3, knowing what their current feelings are towards most, not the county, but most aspects of government. But that's a little bit of the makeup of who we are and what we do. I'd like to just say a word, if I have a minute, Randy, as far as what's taking place here this week. Randy touched on it a little earlier. I've had the honor and privilege to judge livestock in over 30 contiguous states here in the lower 48, Canada, Alaska, and Mexico. I've been to a lot of fairgrounds, and I've been to a lot of facilities, and this community has one of the finest anywhere on the planet. And I've been to state fairgrounds, county fairgrounds, but we need to take pride as a community in what we have. And it is here today because of what Randy said, because you have hundreds of people that are giving a week and longer of their time. They're here at 6 in the morning and they go home at midnight. You can't see that happen. All of us belong to civic organizations, fraternal organizations,